So now I address the key problems in the data handling. So now how do you address this problem through STATA? And similarly, using this list of code. So if you're able to remember this one and you know the reasons where you have to use this code, if you're very clear, then you are good to go. You can easily able to clean the data very effectively. So here also I've arranged it in such a way that that help you to understand the data much better. For example, the moment you have the data in a data, you're always exploring the data, right? You are always trying to explore the data. Don't jump on to any quick judgment about the data without understanding it. So once you have the data, you always browse the data. Yesterday, Dr. Akash already told you about browse, edit, and describe. Just browse the data, scroll through, just look left, right, top, bottom. Try to understand what are the data are there, whether it is a categorical data, string data, numerical data. All those try to understand it and also try to see the describe. So describe means it will give you the details about the data that you have, the data variable name, variable label of the variable, then nature of the data, everything will give there. And list is, of course, if you are handling with a large data, I don't suggest you to use list, but you can, if it is a large, small data, you can try to find the list for the particular variable and try to understand. Basically, code book help you to understand the categorical variable. So if you have any categorical variable, it will try to investigate, try to give you a background about the code book. You just type code book and particular variable, you get to know. It will give you the range of the categories that are given. Some categories might be between 1 to 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But when you look into the browse data, you cannot see all the 1 to 9 in a single go. Maybe you might be dealing with 1 lakh observation, right? So you do not know what is the range of the category and what name, what values are a name that you assigned for each category. So those things you can able to investigate effectively in the code book, and also it will show you the minimum, maximum range of those categories. Then sum is the summary statistics. The label list help you to understand the category and category information. The M disk is investigating the missing values in each variable. The inspect also do the same. So there are different packages also available to investigate the missing data. MV pattern is also there, missing value pattern. So that also will able to show you graphically how the missing values are across all the variables. So there are very effective codings are there, but always to start with explore, try to understand the data, try to understand the limitation of the data and where the problem occurs and how many categorical variables are there. So in and out of the data, you should be familiar with before proceeding to the next stage. So always explore the data, best possible way, understand the data. Then once you explore the data, you will be prioritizing it, right? So that is what the next stage is, prioritize. Prioritize means, for example, you downloaded the variable from different sources. Now you end up having around, for example, 50 to 100 variables. Let's say you have 100 variables, but not all the 100 variable you will be using it very frequently, right? Maybe the out of 100, maybe top 20 variable only will be using frequently. But what if those variables are scattered across in the variable list? So it's very difficult for you to deal with. So what you do, you just order and list the variable as per your priority and type enter. What will do? It will give you the list of variable as per your priority. Then the rest of the variable which you are not using often will be after 20th variable it will come. So in that way, you can easily manage your variable list, and at the same time, you can use the variable for your further analysis purpose. And drop and keep will you apply interchangeably. There are drop means the variable which is not necessary for you, or the observations which are not necessary for you, you can drop it. Similarly, the keep means it keep the variable. Drop means drop, delete the variable. So what we call delete in STATA they call drop. Okay. So keep means keep the variable. That's it. Then duplicates. If you have any duplicates, uh, that will you can able to identify the duplicates and drop the duplicates as well. Okay. So now you explore the data, you prioritize the data. So once you prioritize the data, now you'll be dealing with the existing variable, right? So the existing variable, as I told you earlier in the previous problem, if a variable name may not be appropriate, then you have to use the command rename. So using the rename, you can change the name from HP204 to state and give a variable. So what is this label? Label means the state may not be very clear. So write as states of India, something like that you can give a name. Okay. So the existing variable is also after the prioritizing your list of variable, then you are dealing with the respective variable. So in the existing variable, if you want to change the name, you can change it. If you don't want to change, you can leave it. So wherever you want to change, this is the command, rename and label for the existing variable. Now, if you want to generate a new variable, existing variable may not be sufficient. You are generating asset, right? So that is where the new variable. Generate is a command, help you to generate a new variable. Okay. And replace. So uh, the replace is a command again, how you are dealing with it. So now, for example, asset you created. Now, wherever the information of a durable goods, car, gold, long-term savings are given, there it will find the total. There are certain cases where these informations are not at all available. It will just drop as a dot. So now you have to instruct uh, STATA whether you want to keep it as a dot or you want to consider that as a zero. So that is up to you. So if you, there are certain cases like, for example, categorical cases, for example, male and female. You are generating a variable called gender and one if it is female. Then by default, wherever male, it creates as dot only. Now you want to call that as a dot as a male or you don't want to call. It's up to you. Depends upon your study. So if you want to call 0 as a female, replace gender equal to 0 if the, the original, the old variable is equal to this one, like that. So the new variable, you often use generate and replace interchangeably. So this for existing variable, rename, label, it will go interchangeably. For new variable, wherever you use generate, you also use the replace accordingly. Okay. So now existing variable, you change it, you created a new variable. Now, in mostly in the cross-section data, you always have a lot of categorical variable. For example, you have state ID, district ID. Now you want to arrange the data state-wise. So that is where the by and by sort are used to categorize or rearrange the variable in a data set so that you can able to see visually, go to the browser and edit, or you can even try to do certain analysis by using the command by or by sort as well. Again, when you're dealing with a categorical variable, you have to give a value for the label, right? For example, when you're using male and female, it's a string. So you are now assigning the value. Male means 1, female means 0. Then again, you also have to give a definition. Then only it will always, because there will be several instances where 1 and 0 will be repeated. But for example, yes or no. Yes is also you're giving 1, no is 0, male is also 1, female is 0. So you have to instruct this data. So this 1 means female, this 0 means male, that one is 1 means yes, 0 means no. So you have to give a definition so that the data remembers the definition. Whenever you are running a tabulation, it will show you the correct values, and accordingly you can able to interpret very easily. So the label values and the label definition is always important. It goes always together. Remember, it always goes together for categorical variable. Okay. So now once you prioritize it, existing variable, renamed it, you created a new variable, you rearranged it, you've done some more analysis, and again categorize the variable. The next step only you're going to the frequency. So frequency is another way to further clean the data. Okay. Because you're trying to understand the frequency of your analysis. Basically, this tablet will work effectively for a categorical variable. It will not work for a numerical variable because it's trying to find the frequency of occurrence of the particular data, right? For example, particular value. How many times that 1 is occurring in your database? How many times a 0 is occurring in the particular database? So in this way, you try to compare with social group versus gender, or education, social group versus gender, like one way, two way, multiple cross tabulation you can do, try to understand the data. So that again further help you to manipulate the data for your for our analysis purpose. Okay. So in addition to that, there are other advanced coding which is also very useful to you, called extended generate. So extended generate is it usually use uh, another command. So in this extended generate, you simultaneously apply two commands. For example, generating a variable by giving a command mean bar or row total or column total or sum, like that. So there are two different commands you are applying in a single command. So that is called extended generate. It is a little advanced. And again, if case is very often you will be using in a cross-sectional data for your analysis. Then again, recode. If you want to recode your categorical variable, you often use the recode command to recode. For example, by default, you have 1 means female, 0 means male. Now you want to call female means 0 and male means 1. So using the recode command, you can recode it and you can use it. Loop and separate is a very advanced command where it helps. The separate is basically split the data based on the categorical variable. For example, you have male, female as a variable. Now you want to split the income based on the category, male and female. So using the separate command, it split the income for male, income for female as a two variables. So your one variable income became a two variable based on the category, male and female separately. Okay. So those are advanced variable, and some of this command Dr. Neha Kumari will be covering in the practicals. And again, data transformation is another very important when you're dealing with multiple files. Either one of this command you will be using it. For example, merge, if your IDs are common, but you are combining different variables from different files. Append, your variables are common, then you are combining two different files. Then collapse within a same file. If you are having a state ID and district ID, you are converting the district variable into the state variable. Then use the collapse button to collapse option to convert the variable into a state level data. Then again, reshape. Reshape often they use for a panel data analysis to reshape the data for a panel data set. Even otherwise, even in the cross-sectional analysis also, sometimes when you download the data, it is not in a proper shape. You just apply the reshape command to reshape in a way in which that you want it. So that's it from my side.
Sir, can you kindly speak about this collapse in data transformation?
Okay. So in the data transformation, for example, in the merge, for example, what the merge do, for example, you have a country, okay? You have two files. Each file has a country information. 10 country available in both same country are available in two files. Now the file one has only three variable, file two having the other three variable. Now you want to combine it. Using the merge command, you can combine the file and you can have a single file with all the variable. This is what merge do. Okay. What append do? Append, now you have two file again. One file has 6 variable. Okay, but it has observation till 20. The other file has other 20 variable with the same 6 variable. So for example, you have two file for country 1, country 2. Variables are same, but countries are different, right? So now you want to combine these two files. So append will do it, because as long as the variables are same, the countries are different, you can use append. As long as the countries are same, the variables are different, you can apply merge. Okay. Now what collapse do? Collapse, for example, you have a data called, you have a variable called state. You have another variable called district. Okay. Then these are the two IDs, state ID, district ID. Then suppose you have 6 corresponding variables are there. Let's say you have a GDP. Let's say you have a saving data. Say you have investment data. Now this GDP, saving, income are all available at a district level, right? Now you want all this district level data to be converted into a state level data. It is all available in a single file, but you want to now convert that into state level. How you do that? You simply sum it, right? If you sum all the districts of a particular state, you will get one value, right? So using the collapse button, what it will do, by district, you are simply transforming the variable which has district level information, converting to a state level information. So the single file which has two ID now will become only one ID. That is only state. All the IDs of a district, by applying the sum, for example, sum of GDP, sum of savings, sum of investment. So by applying this formula, it will transform the data from district level information to the state level information. So earlier you have a district level GDP, saving, investment. After applying this command, collapse command, this will become state level GDP, state level saving, state level investment. Now you are getting my point.
Yes, sir. Clear now. Thank you,
So
sir.
instead of sum also, you can apply mean. So it depends upon the nature of the data that you, for example, percentage, share of GDP, for example, share of saving on GDP. So share of saving and GDP, you cannot sum it, right? You can find the mean of it. So there you can write mean within a bracket that particular variable. So wherever you can apply sum, you can apply, wherever you can apply mean, you can apply. So that flexibility is there in the collapse command. Reshape, basically what it will do, it will transform the variable from wide to long or long to wide. Some of the problems you encounter can be solved through mixed of or combination of this command. Problem of your statement is very clear, and if you know the logical sequence of what needs to be done, then accordingly you can apply the particular coding and you can resolve the problem. If a problem is not clear, if you do not know how to resolve the problem sequentially or logically, then it is very difficult to solve through STATA. So logical step or logical sequences, command instructions you have to give in the STATA, it will deliver the results. So if your logical sequence is not correct, you cannot get the result. So most often, the problem of the statement, the researchers may not be very clear. The problem of statements are clear, but they do not know how to resolve the problem. That means the logical sequence is also very much important to solve the problem, right? So this command will come effectively in various stages of your logical sequences. So whenever you are encountering a problem, try to visualize the data and see what needs to be done so that the problem is solved. So unless you visually see the data by yourself, and you cannot able to use the command effectively there and solve the problem. Otherwise, this is the key command most often we use for a data cleaning process.